This is KSEE 24 News on election night, your local election headquarters.
Good evening. Nice to have you with us. I'm Evan Onstott.
And I'm Stephanie Baruchian. We do have live team coverage tonight of local and state races. We have lots of reporters around the valley, and the results, of course, are still coming in this evening. And the big story, one big story of the night, a big win for Congressman David Valadao in his challenge from Amanda Renteria. Lots of money spent on this campaign, but we heard a little bit ago Amanda Renteria had given what certainly sounded like a concession-type speech with her family. David Valadao with a sizable lead tonight. We still have more than half of the votes to come in, but the congressman is feeling pretty good about re-election. KSEE 24's Jack Heiberger live tonight at Valadao's campaign headquarters in Hanford tonight. He's got more on what's going on out there. Jack?
Well, Stephanie, Congressman Valadao feeling very good about his chances. It looks like he's definitely going to win the re-election. In fact, he's already talking about what he's going to do when he gets to Washington, D.C., and no surprise, it's all going to start with water. Now, I'll get out of the way so you can see kind of the scene here at Republican headquarters in Hanford. Still quite a few people sticking around. It has thinned out a little bit since we got word that Congressman Valadao was very likely going to win re-election. Now, we did catch up with the congressman just a few minutes ago and asked him about the tone his campaign and Amanda Renteria's campaign took in its latter stages.
It did get a little negative. I'm not a fan of the negative stuff, but we worked really hard on the ground. We've always kept our head low, avoided a lot of the stuff that was flowing out there, and just worked our district. We made sure we talked to voters. We made sure we knocked on doors, and I think today's results are showing that.
And Congressman Valadao will be entering a slightly different Congress when he returns to Washington. The Republicans have taken over both the House and the Senate. Congressman Valadao says that makes him very optimistic. He'll be able to get some things done that he wasn't able to his first go-around. Evan, Stephanie, back to you.
Jack, thanks so much. We appreciate that. We also do have some reactions tonight from the Renteria campaign. Raquel Cervantes down in Bakersfield, where they are meeting today. Raquel, I understand that you spoke with the Democrat just a bit ago. Can you confirm that she has conceded the race?
Well, about a half hour ago, Amanda Renteria took to this podium behind me and addressed her supporters. Now, it was not an outright concession, but she says tonight clearly did not go as she had hoped. Now, her campaign started at, her staff started at 5 a.m., knocking on doors starting in Sanger. From the beginning, Renteria has called her campaign a grassroots effort, but last month she managed to get Vice President Joe Biden in Bakersfield to campaign for her. Now, she and incumbent David Valadao had the chance to square off in debates 4 times and sometimes even in Spanish. Tonight, she tells me she's proud of how she managed to mobilize the community. Now, just moments ago, again, she didn't take any questions, but we spoke with her right before polls closed. She tells me that she has felt incredible about her campaign.
Most importantly is telling folks that their voice matters. And so I couldn't be more excited to be here today. Couldn't be more honored to have been on this journey, not just with my team, but with the community.
Now, tonight, Renteria's husband and 2 children were here with her to support her, along with dozens of community members and friends. And again, within the last hour, Amanda Renteria made a brief statement saying tonight did not go as she had hoped. Live in Bakersfield tonight, Raquel Cervantes, KSEE 24, local news that matters.
Thanks very much. Appreciate that, Raquel. There were 6 propositions on the statewide ballot today, and we are now getting an idea of which ones are passing and which ones aren't.
Yes, the one that got a whole lot of attention, well, not really a proposition, though. Measure Z, yeah. And this is the Save Our Zoo measure for Fresno County. It needed 2/3 votes to pass, vote to pass, and it certainly has that now. There's still about 19% of the precincts to come in, but looking really good for Fresno's Measure Z.
KSEE 24's Jessica Porter is in the studio right now. She's got a closer look at this issue. Jessica?
Yeah, Evan, well, it seems those little gray elephant campaign posters work. It looks like a little over 70% of voters approved Measure Z so far. It needed a 2/3 majority to pass. Measure Z will renew a small sales tax that would give about another $100 million to the Fresno Chaffee Zoo over the next decade. 2/3 of the money generated for Measure Z will pay for facility improvements like new exhibits. The Yes on Z campaign says they are already planning a new hippo exhibit.
We have felt the overwhelming success of the campaign, hopefully support from Fresno County, and we just want to say thank you for everyone in believing in our mission and believing in the zoo.
If the measure didn't pass, it's possible the zoo may have had to raise admission prices, making it difficult for low-income families to go ahead and attend the zoo. No-on-Z supporters did not support the sales tax and believe the zoo is financially stable without it. Reporting live in the studio, Jessica Porter, KSEE 24, local news that matters.
Jessica, thank you very much. Another hotly contested race was for state controller. Fresno Mayor Ashley Swearingen facing off against Democrat Betty Yee. Let's take a look at the results right now from the state controller's race. You see here, it's close, 52% to 48%. The Fresno mayor is behind with about 36% of the precincts reporting, but she's still in it at this point, but it is a bit of an uphill battle. KSEE 24's Angela Greenwood, live in Fresno, where Swearingen's campaign has gathered for election night. Is the crowd sticking around, Angela?
The celebration is still going strong, as you can see and hear behind me. Again, take a look at this crowd. The mayor still surrounded by a lot of her family and friends, all of them who have kind of really been glued to the TV tonight, as you can see, and also keeping up with social media, keeping track of this race, an incredibly close race, and really kind of a nail-biter. Now, Swearingen's opponent, Betty Yee, is only winning by a very narrow margin, as you just mentioned, Evan. The mayor tells us she's feeling good about her campaign. She's feeling pretty hopeful. She says she's excited for this possible change. She's excited to help balance the state's budget, but says she would have never considered running for office if Fresno's finances weren't in order.
Well, it's been just a real challenge over the last 8 months to maintain my responsibilities at City Hall and put out as good a campaign as I could possibly do and still maintain. You know, I've got a husband and kids, and I'm just really pleased that I've got such great people that I work with at City Hall and also on the campaign team, that we've been able to get through this. We put a great effort out on the field. My husband and my kids still like me, so I consider that to be a big success here on election night. And at this point, it's in the voters' hands, and I'm anxious for the outcome.
I can hear that. Now again, Swearingen running against Democrat Betty Yee, a pretty well-known politician across the state. We did reach out to Betty Yee's campaign earlier today, but we never heard back. Again, a very close race, obviously too close to call at this point. So as far as Fresno's future go, and as far as if we will be getting a new mayor, if a new mayor will be coming to town, well, that is all still up in the air tonight. We are live in Fresno. Angela Greenwood, KSEE 24, local news that matters.
Thanks so much, Angela. A number of county races on the ballot, among them 2 for Fresno County Supervisor. In the race for District 1, this is Phil Larson's seat. Larson is retiring. We have Farmer Brian Pacheco, who has a very strong lead over Fresno City Councilman Blanc Zhang. We've got about 85% of the precincts in now. Brian Pacheco with a 20-point lead, or 20 percentage point lead over Blanc Zhang in District 1. And in District 4, this is Supervisor Judy Case McNary's district. She is retiring as well. This is almost a final with 97% of the precincts in. Buddy Mendez certainly looks to be the winner in that race over Daniel Parra. Catherine Hurd joins us now in the studio. She's got more on these races and more. Catherine.
Well, Stephanie, this is going to be a big change for the Fresno County Board of Supervisors, with 2 longtime supervisors stepping down. Phil Larson, who serves the west side of Fresno County, including Kerman, and Judy Case McNary, who represents the area from Sanger down to Coalinga. In Case's district, Buddy Mendez, who got Case's endorsement, almost won this seat back in June, but he fell just short. He has a very strong lead now. You can see 63% to 37% over Daniel Parra. Parra is the mayor pro tem in the city of Fowler. Larson and Case McNary stepping down after long terms on the Board of Supervisors, 2 new faces taking over, and also looking at Andy Vidak and Luis Chavez in that race. Vidak has a 10% lead, 55% to 45% over Luis Chavez. So a lot of races that we are following around the valley tonight, but we will continue to follow those numbers as they come in. And Evan and Stephanie, I will toss it back to you.
Thanks so much, Catherine. Appreciate that. We have Professor Tom Holyoke from Fresno State joining us right now. In fact, you've been with us all this evening, and we appreciate the ability to pick your brain, sir, all night long. There have been some interesting races, but is anything jumping out right now, maybe aside from the Jim Costa race, which is almost, in your opinion, that's a bit of a mind blower right there?
Well, one thing that does surprise me is the magnitude of the victory that Valadao looks like he's going to have over Amanda Renteria. And also, for the same reason, the way that the Videk-Chavez race seems to be going, where you have Republicans who are winning handily in Democratic districts. That congressional district and that state Senate district have more Democrats than Republicans in it. So either those Democrats are not voting or they might be voting for the Republicans.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but yeah, maybe they're not getting out there and doing the job today. Anything else what about in the propositions we've been following? Anything that you find surprising in some of the results? 48, I know, is one that we're trying to sort out exactly what this means.
48 is confusing. I think the interesting part of 48 is really about to begin, since it looks like, as far as the proposition goes, it's going down, that they're not going to approve the North Fork Mono casino, except that...
Now, this is a compact that the governor sorted out with the tribe, and the state legislature has approved. So do voters have the final say in this?
It's not clear. I believe the North Fork Mono Indians are saying that no, the voters really don't. The state has decided, and the federal government through the Bureau of Indian Affairs has decided this is going to go through, and they're basically said that they will sue to make sure that it does go through. So this proposition in the end might not mean anything at all.
Professor, thanks so much. We're going to keep joining you here in a little bit, but we do want to keep this moving a little bit. One of the more heated races this election, Superior Court judge. We're going to be talking about that race coming up here in just a little bit. Stay with us.